Growing up, I had my favorite cowboy, my favorite horse that went with the cowboy. There was Trigger with Roy Rogers, and there was Topper with Hopalong Cassidy, and there was Tony with Tom Mix. Hey everybody, this is Tony Tominick and
Sherry Spencer.
Sherry. What's going on?
Well, look at this. It's a great day at the races, isn't it?
Well, I didn't do so well. I had to hitchhike home.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, my horse, I put everything I owned, all $3.87 on it. And now I'm, nothing. Got nothing.
Should have saved that money for a goat cart.
Yeah. I could have got a ride home on the goat cart. But it was a beautiful day here at Churchill Downs.
Yep, it still is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, and we're sitting here reminiscing about names like Secretariat, Justify, Seattle Slew, American Pharaoh. Since we're here reminiscing about some of the great horses that graced Churchill Downs, maybe we should talk about some Avon Lake horses. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I remember horses all over the community growing up. We had all kinds of horses running around here.
Yeah, well, there were horses of some renown that had an Avon Lake connection.
Get out.
No, it's true. Back in your horse racing had a bit of an unsavory reputation. This was associated with gambling in that ilk of folks.
Nice word. I like ilk.
Yeah. And in fact, racetrack betting wasn't even legalized in Ohio until 1933. So some Cleveland businessmen who wanted to engage in this little hobby, it was a fun thing to do. They found a workaround and they created an exclusive club called the Cleveland Driving Club. And that was in 1863 that they established that organization.
Yeah, and I think they were mostly all harness racing, wasn't it? Yeah.
So, do you have any idea which Avon Lake seasonal resident, that's a clue, seasonal resident, was an active member in the Cleveland Driving Club?
No.
Well, I'll give you a hint. It was John Gehring. You want to guess again?
Was it John Gehring?
Oh, you're good. Yes, it was. And why would we know who John Gehring was? Well, first of all, he owned that fabulous red Swiss chalet style home that used to be on Lake Road, pretty much across the street from St. Joe's Church.
Yes, and there was a lot of skullduggery going on in that house back in the day.
Oh, I love those stories. Hey, and if we have any viewers that want to share any, whatever they heard, we'd love to listen, right?
There's a lot of funny stuff going on.
So anyway, John Gehring, who owned that home and who would live there during the summer months, was the heir to the Gehring Brewing Company, started by his father, John Gehring, not too far from the West Side Market. And in fact, if you go out there today, you will see the street sign for Gehring Street. It's still there.
Wow. Well, I need to make a run.
You do. John Gehring, who I was just talking to you about, bought a racehorse by the name of True Blood. And he used to take True Blood to race at the Cleveland Driving Club.
Yes.
So there's our first Avon Lake horse connection.
Wow.
Well, and then there was Hugo Baus. Really, Tony, you and I have not been real charitable when we talk about Hugo Baus and some of our moment of history.
What's the word that you have now used along with Baus the Louse?
Scumbaggery?
Yes. New word, scumbaggery. By the way, I like your hat.
Thank you. So we are still not being terribly charitable toward Mr. Bouse, but at any rate, Mr. Bouse served 3 terms as mayor of Avon Lake. He was finally defeated, and after his 3rd term and his defeat, he didn't exactly change professions because he had been in the real estate sales industry while he was mayor. A little bit of scumbaggery going on there, but he continued in his real estate endeavors, and he also got into thoroughbred breeding and racing at his farm Deauville, Deauville.
That's right where the golf course was. That's right up there in the
right
corner
here
of,
in Avon Lake.
yeah, right in the corner of Walker, and at that time it was probably just called Avon Belden, but 83, 76.
That's right.
Yep.
He had quite an estate there, and a lot of animals, and as you said, golf course too.
I love that he called it Deauville.
Deauville.
Slap, slap.
You know, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I told you.
Deauville does really make a lot of sense.
I'm not just another pretty face. I'm telling you.
Thank goodness. You know, I'm so glad that you contribute so much to these programs.
Stop
it. At any rate, he, as I said, was breeding thoroughbreds, and he would name his horses in an interesting way. First, I have to tell you, there are a lot of rules associated with naming racehorses. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
They're real rulesy. First of all, you've got to get your proposed horse name approved by the jockey club. You did then, and I believe you still have to do that now. First of all, you couldn't exceed 18 characters in your horse's name.
Wow.
So in other words, you couldn't use any of your passwords.
No, I'm just going to say, I wouldn't be able to use it. I'd have to have my brain would fry if I had to have that many letters in my password.
Don't you have to have at least like 20 different your password now?
I write it down, and every time I forget it, I have to change it again. And pretty soon they're saying, well, you can't use that one again because you already used it once.
Yeah. Well, and you also could not propose a name for your horse that already existed. Well, that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. That means there's no more Mr. Eds.
Yeah, and names of famous horses could not be repeated. So Bouse got around or avoided any problem with naming rules by using Deauville for the first part of the name, and then the names of his various children for the second part of the horse's name, like Deauville Dawn. And he had 7 children, so he had some names to work with.
I'm kind of digging this. It could be Deauville Bill.
Deauville, it could be. Oh, it could be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
At any rate, he bought a racehorse by the name of Milla. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Sunmelus, but it was a racehorse of some renown because you could see his name in the newspapers of yore. And he was racing a lot, and you know, after a while they used them for reproductive purposes and make some money off them that way.
Yeah.
So Bouse bought this horse in 1940, and the seller who was parting with this horse sounded like he had a fondness for this horse, and he said he felt good about this sale to Bouse because Bouse had a reputation for taking such good care of his animals and had a veterinarian on site for his animals.
Wow.
Yeah, that's reassuring, right?
Yeah, he didn't do anything else right, but he took care of those nags pretty well.
Yeah, well, you know, it didn't all go quite as right as the seller was hoping that it was going to, because as it turned out, Bouse decided he wasn't making enough money off this horse, and he was going to return the horse to the racetrack. And now our friend Bouse, who may or may not have been a louse, made national news because one sports reporter was just slamming Bouse for this decision. And he said that to return a 15-year-old thoroughbred to the racetrack was analogous to putting a 60-year-old man through paratrooper training. That's pretty
We
serious.
need writers. We need more sports writers like that guy.
Yeah, he knew how to tell it, didn't he?
Oh man, that's like when the guy jumps out and he lands, he just kind of goes, and it's over, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Once and done.
Yep.
Avon Lake wine. It's all about the booze.
The booze.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So there was a magistrate here in Lorain County who was hearing a case of animal abuse because that was within their jurisdiction. And actually, the case concerned a dog. And ostensibly, the owner of the dog was feeding the dog beer. And someone must have complained and said that was animal abuse because the case winds up in court. And the magistrate, in hearing the case, said that he wasn't sure if that was abuse or not because he was familiar with a story of a horse named Caravan who refused to race unless he was first given a bottle of port wine.
Now that's a really cool horse.
Yeah, that is a cool horse. And you were about to tell us about Hattie, the horse in Avon Lake, right?
Yeah, Hattie was owned by the Beard family over there on Moore Road, and Hattie had a knack for racing trains, whether they be the interurban or the nickel plate, but quite a fast horse apparently.
Do you think Hattie liked to indulge in a little of the grape bubbly?
Could be, there was a lot of that going around, Well, I can't imagine. I mean, I can see today that people that would be, liquoring up their livestock might be in trouble. But back in the day, I mean, was there somebody walking around going, how many bottles of wine did that horse have today? It's just, it's hard to believe.
In the 60s. Even in the 60s, people must have been wondering about that because you remember the group Peter, Paul, and Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they sang a song about, do you remember the song about Stewball?
Yes.
Do you know the lyrics to Stewball?
I used to.
Yeah, something like, oh, Stewball was a racehorse and I wish he were mine. He never drank water. He always drank wine. His bridle was silver, his mane, it was gold, and the worth of his saddle has never been told. So it's still all about the booze.
The booze. Well, see, there's a name, Stewball. If I were to be a thoroughbred race, raising my own thoroughbreds and living over in Kentucky, I definitely have a horse named Stewball. That's like having a dog named Fido. All these cartoons for years, everybody calls him Fido. But I've never met a dog named Fido. So I think that's kind of a critical omission. We need to have a dog named Fido and a horse named Stewball.
Well,
I'm learning a lot. And every time and it's nice to be back on the channel again. We haven't done this in a while since I lost my computer, but now we're back in the show. So it looks like our actual members have skyrocketed, Sherry. Skyrocket. We are in episode 37. And remember, we put out a plea during our last video to up our members to 36. Well, the good news, drum roll, we got 13 now.
Oh. But I have to confess, I am a little bit disappointed because you had invited viewers of our last minute of history to post pictures of themselves hugging trees for our Arbor Day story.
We didn't get one.
No, we didn't.
We didn't get one. So I think that we're the only two people that really enjoy these videos. Here we are putting on stupid costumes and backdrops and simulating being at the Churchill Downs for the Kentucky Derby, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. They watch this for like 7 seconds and they go, oh, it's that again. And they click off. So my last plea, again, now we have to get to 37 subscribers and 37 followers. All you got to do is hit the like button and subscribe. It's not that hard. You don't even have to watch the whole thing. You just
Yeah,
have
you
to
do.
like, well, yeah. Well, it'd be nice, but it's all about, I just want one of those nice YouTube packages they send you when you get like 1 million followers,
Wait, they send you something?
Yeah, they give you like this briefcase and it says YouTube on it, and I don't think we're going to get there. Not with 13 followers. So,
well, I'll tell you what, if we do, you can have the briefcase.
Well, it's Maya. It's what, Cinco de Mayo today.
Yeah.
Today is May 5, and we're putting this together. It's kind of rainy and cloudy out there. I just came back from a wonderful taco salad at Jake's on the Lake, and I'm going to wrap it up for this 37th chapter of A Minute of History or Two. So for now, this is Tony Tominick and
Jerry Spencer.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.